Welcome back to our channel, where we explore the natural wonders that make our planet absolutely extraordinary. I'm thrilled to have you here today because we're about to embark on a virtual journey to 10 of the most breathtaking island destinations on Earth. Places where turquoise waters kiss pristine white sands, where ancient cultures meet modern luxury, and where every sunset feels like a personal gift from nature itself. From the scattered jewels of the Indian Ocean to the volcanic paradise of the Pacific, from the sun-drenched cliffs of the Mediterranean to the tropical treasures of Southeast Asia, these destinations represent the pinnacle of natural beauty and human aspiration. Each location we'll explore today carries its own unique story, shaped by centuries of history, enriched by vibrant cultures, and blessed with landscapes that defy imagination. But here's my question for you. What does paradise truly mean to you? Is it the solitude of a private beach, the vibrant culture of island communities, or perhaps the thrill of diving into underwater worlds teeming with life? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I genuinely want to know what speaks to your wanderlust heart. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss our adventures. And don't forget to check out the links in the description below for incredible deals on flights and accommodations that'll make your dream trip more affordable than you ever imagined. Now, let's begin our journey. Maldives. The Maldives is an archipelagic nation scattered across the Indian Ocean, southwest of India and Sri Lanka. But here's what blows my mind every single time. This country consists of approximately 1,190 coral islands grouped into 26 ring-shaped atolls. And get this, the highest natural point in the entire country is just 7.8 feet above sea level. We are talking about a nation that's literally embracing the ocean, existing in perfect harmony with the sea that surrounds it. These islands are arranged in a double chain that stretches across the equator for about 510 miles from north to south and 80 miles from east to west. The atolls themselves are formed from coral reefs that have grown around ancient volcanic peaks that have long since sunk beneath the waves. What you're seeing when you visit the Maldives isn't just islands. You're witnessing millions of years of geological artistry. the Maldivian people and their incredible heritage. The culture here is a fascinating blend of influences from South Asia, Arabia, and Africa, all woven together by the ocean itself. The Maldives converted to Islam in 1153 CE, and this faith has become the cornerstone of Maldivian identity and culture. Ancient mariners called them the Money Islands because of the cowrie shells that were harvested here and used as currency across Africa and Asia. The Maldives has been ruled by sultans and sultanas for centuries. Yes, they had female rulers way before it was fashionable elsewhere. The country was a British protectorate from 1887 to 1965, but here's what's remarkable. The Maldivian people managed to maintain their cultural identity, language, and traditions through all of it. The traditional Maldivian way of life revolves around the ocean. Fishing has been the backbone of the economy for centuries, and you can still see traditional dhonie boats being handcrafted using techniques passed down through generations. The local music, called bojubaru, literally means big drum, and when you hear it performed live, the rhythms connect you to centuries of seafaring traditions. Let's talk about Malé, the capital city and the one destination you absolutely cannot miss. Now, Malé is one of the most densely populated cities in the world, packed onto an island measuring just 1.5 miles long and about a mile wide. But don't let the size fool you. This tiny powerhouse is bursting with energy, color, and culture. Walking through Malé is like stepping into a vibrant tapestry of Maldivian life. The Grand Friday Mosque, with its striking golden dome visible from almost anywhere in the city, is an architectural marvel that took over 2 years to complete. Built in 1984, it can accommodate up to 5,000 worshippers and features stunning Islamic calligraphy and wood carvings that'll take your breath away. Then there's the Malé fish market, and folks, if you want to experience the real Maldives, this is where it happens. Every morning, fishermen bring in their catch, and the place erupts into organized chaos. You'll see tuna so fresh they're practically still swimming, being expertly filleted by vendors who have been doing this since they could hold a knife. The colors, the sounds, the energy, it's intoxicating. And right next door, the local produce market overflows with tropical fruits you've probably never even heard of. This is a nation of 1,190 coral islands in the Indian Ocean, where the land barely rises above the sea, creating an intimate relationship between earth and water. The culture is a beautiful blend of South Asian, Arabian, and African influences, unified by Islam and centuries of seafaring tradition. Malé, the tiny but mighty capital, offers authentic cultural experiences from the Grand Friday Mosque to the bustling fish market, and the luxury resort experience. It's literally unparalleled anywhere else on Earth. The Maldives isn't just a destination, it's a transformation, a place where the boundaries between sea and sky blur, and where you remember what it means to be truly alive. Bora Bora. Bora Bora is located in French Polynesia, about 160 miles northwest of Tahiti, in the Society Islands archipelago. Now, here's what makes this island absolutely unique from a geographic standpoint. Bora Bora is what's left of an extinct volcano, surrounded by a lagoon and a barrier reef. In the center of the island, you'll see Mount Otmanu and Mount Pahia, these dramatic volcanic peaks reaching 2,385 feet and 2,159 feet, respectively, standing like ancient sentinels over the entire island. The lagoon itself is a masterpiece of nature. It's protected by a coral reef and dotted with small sandy islands called motus. The water in this lagoon displays every shade of blue you can imagine, from deep sapphire in the deeper channels to turquoise, aquamarine, and almost white in the shallows. The contrast between the dark volcanic peaks, the lush green tropical vegetation, and these impossible shades of blue creates a visual experience that photographs simply cannot capture. You have to see it with your own eyes. The island covers about 11.3 square miles, but it's the surrounding lagoon and reef system that truly defines the Bora Bora experience. The barrier reef creates a natural aquarium, keeping the waters calm, clear, and teeming with marine life. Now let's dive into the rich Polynesian heritage of Bora Bora. The island was first settled by Polynesians around the 4th century CE. These incredible navigators traveled thousands of miles across open ocean using nothing but the stars, wave patterns, and their deep connection to nature. Can you even imagine that kind of courage and skill? The original name of the island was Pora Pora, meaning firstborn in the Tahitian language. It was considered the firstborn after the neighboring island of Raiatea. European mispronunciation changed it to Bora Bora, and the name stuck. The culture here is deeply rooted in Polynesian traditions. The Tahitian language is still spoken alongside French, and traditional practices like tattooing, dance, and music are very much alive. The famous Tahitian dance, or Ori Tahiti, is a sight to behold. The hip movements, the elaborate costumes made of natural materials, and the drumming create a performance that connects directly to ancient traditions. The island was claimed by France in 1842, and during World War II, the United States used Bora Bora as a supply base. You can still see some of the old naval guns installed on the island. But what's remarkable is how the local culture has persevered. Despite French colonial influence and tourism development, the Polynesian spirit of mana, spiritual power, and aroha, love and compassion, still permeates every aspect of life here. While Mount Outmanu itself is not climbable due to its steep, crumbling volcanic rock, the hiking trails around its base offer absolutely spectacular views. The Pahia Summit Trail is one of the most popular hikes, taking you through lush tropical vegetation, breadfruit trees, coconut palms, hibiscus flowers in every color imaginable, up to viewpoints that'll make your jaw drop. From these vantage points, you can see the entire lagoon spread out below you like a liquid jewel, with the motus forming a perfect ring around the island. This is an island formed from an ancient volcano in the heart of French Polynesia, dominated by the sacred peaks of Mount Outmanu and Mount Pahia. The culture is authentically Polynesian, maintaining ancient traditions of navigation, dance, and respect for nature despite centuries of external influence. Mount Outmanu offers spectacular hiking and spiritual connection, while the surrounding lagoon provides some of the best water activities on the planet. The combination of dramatic volcanic peaks, impossibly blue lagoon waters, and vibrant Polynesian culture creates an experience that's both thrilling and deeply peaceful. Bora Bora shows us that paradise can be both majestic and intimate at the same time. Santorini. Santorini's geography is absolutely mind-blowing because what you're looking at when you visit this island is essentially the remains of a massive volcanic explosion. Around 3,600 years ago, one of the largest volcanic eruptions in recorded history, literally blew the center out of this island, creating what we now call a caldera, a giant crater filled with sea water. The island today forms a rough crescent shape on the eastern side of the caldera. The western coast features those famous dramatic cliffs, some reaching up to 980 feet high, that drop straight down into the deep blue Aegean Sea. On top of these cliffs, you'll find the iconic whitewashed buildings with bright blue domed roofs that have become synonymous with Greek island beauty. What most people don't realize is that Santorini is actually part of a volcanic island group that includes Thracia, Aspronosi, and the two volcanic islets Paleokameni and Ni Kameni in the center of the caldera. The volcano is still considered active, though dormant, with the last major eruption occurring in 1950. You can actually take a boat tour to the volcanic islets and walk on ground that's still warm from geothermal activity. The island covers about 28 square miles, and the dramatic geography has shaped every aspect of life here, from the architecture to the agriculture to the way settlements developed. Now let's talk about Santorini's absolutely fascinating history, because this island has been at the crossroads of civilization for thousands of years. The Minoan civilization established a major settlement here called Akrotiri around 2000 BCE. This was a sophisticated Bronze Age city with advanced architecture, plumbing systems, and stunning frescoes. Then came that massive volcanic eruption around 1600 BCE, and here's where it gets interesting. Many historians believe this eruption might have contributed to the decline of the Minoan civilization on Crete, and could even be the historical basis for Plato's legend of Atlantis. Think about that. You're walking on an island that might be the inspiration for one of history's greatest legends. Throughout history, Santorini has been occupied by Phoenicians, Spartans, Romans, Byzantines, Venetians, and Ottomans. Each civilization left its mark. The Venetians, who ruled from 1207 to 1579, gave the island its current name, a contraction of Santa Irene, Saint Irene. The architectural style you see today, with those cubic buildings and barrel-vaulted roofs, developed partly from this Venetian influence, but mainly as a practical response to the island's earthquake-prone geology. But here's what makes Oya truly special. This village was partially destroyed in a 1956 earthquake and lovingly restored over decades. Many of the buildings are actually carved into the volcanic rock of the caldera cliff, creating cave houses called iposcarpa that stay naturally cool in summer and warm in winter. These weren't originally luxury accommodations. They were fishermen's houses and ship captains' homes. Today, many have been converted into some of the most spectacular boutique hotels you'll ever see, with infinity pools that seem to merge with the Aegean Sea. This is a volcanic island in the Aegean Sea, literally shaped by one of history's most powerful eruptions, creating the dramatic caldera that defines its beauty today. The culture is deeply Greek, layered with influences from thousands of years of different civilizations, and expressed through Orthodox Christianity, distinctive architecture, and exceptional winemaking. Oya Village represents the pinnacle of Cycladic beauty, offering those world-famous sunsets, incredible dining, and a glimpse into how traditional fishing villages have transformed into luxury destinations while maintaining their character. Santorini teaches us that sometimes the most dramatic natural disasters can create the most stunning beauty, and that resilience and creativity can transform challenges into masterpieces. Palawan. Palawan is often called the last frontier of the Philippines, and geographically, it's unlike anywhere else in the archipelago. This sword-shaped island province stretches about 270 miles from northeast to southwest, forming a natural barrier between the South China Sea and the Sulu Sea. What makes Palawan extraordinary is its biodiversity and the variety of landscapes packed into this one province. You've got pristine white sand beaches, dramatic limestone karst cliffs jutting straight out of emerald waters, dense jungle interiors teeming with wildlife, underground rivers, coral reefs so healthy they look like they're from another era, and over 1,780 islands and islets. The limestone formations here are part of the same geological system that created Halong Bay in Vietnam and the karsts of southern China. These ancient formations, some dating back millions of years, have been carved by wind and water into spectacular shapes, towers, cliffs, caves, and arches that create one of the most scenic coastal landscapes on Earth. Palawan is also incredibly biodiverse. The island is home to two UNESCO World Heritage Sites, the Puerto Princesa Subterranean River National Park and the Tubataha Reefs Natural Park. The jungles here host endemic species found nowhere else on Earth, including the Palawan peacock pheasant, the Palawan hornbill, and the Philippine mouse deer. Palawan's cultural heritage is incredibly rich and diverse. The island is home to several indigenous groups, including the Tagbanua, Palawan, and Batak peoples, who have lived here for thousands of years. These communities maintain traditional ways of life, living in harmony with the forest and sea, practicing sustainable fishing and gathering, and holding deep spiritual connections to the land. The history of Palawan stretches back at least 50,000 years. Archaeologists have discovered the Taban Caves, where they found the Taban man remains dating to the Paleolithic era. These caves have yielded some of the most important archaeological finds in Southeast Asia, providing evidence of early human habitation and sophisticated burial practices. Unlike much of the Philippines, which was heavily influenced by Spanish colonization, Palawan maintained more of its indigenous character. The island was considered a penal colony during the Spanish era, which actually helped preserve traditional cultures. Muslim sultanates also influenced parts of southern Palawan, adding another layer to the cultural tapestry. Located on the northern tip of mainland Palawan, El Nido is the gateway to the Bacuit archipelago, a collection of about 45 islands and islets surrounded by crystal-clear waters and towering limestone cliffs. The name El Nido means the nest in Spanish, named after the edible swiftlet nests found in the area's caves, which are harvested to make bird's nest soup, a Chinese delicacy. But what draws people here isn't the nests, it's the absolutely jaw-dropping beauty. El Nido's lagoons are the stuff of legends. The Big Lagoon and Small Lagoon are enclosed by limestone cliffs rising 250–400 feet straight out of the water, creating these secret turquoise pools that you access by kayak or small boat. Paddling into these lagoons is surreal. The water is so clear you can see every detail of the bottom, even 30 feet down. Tropical fish dart around your kayak, and the towering cliffs create a sense of entering a lost world. But Palawan isn't just about beaches. The Puerto Princesa Subterranean River, one of the new 7 wonders of nature, is a 5-mile-long underground river that flows through a spectacular cave system before emptying into the sea. Boat tour take you into this subterranean wonder where you'll see incredible rock formations, stalactites and stalagmites that look like cathedrals, candles, vegetables, and even a formation that looks remarkably like the Virgin Mary. This is a biodiverse island province in the Philippines, featuring dramatic limestone karsts, pristine beaches, dense jungles, and over 1,780 islands. The culture is a unique blend of indigenous traditions, Spanish influence, and modern Filipino identity, with strong emphasis on environmental preservation. El Nido serves as the gateway to the Bacuit archipelago, offering some of the world's most spectacular lagoons, beaches, and island-hopping experiences. The underwater and above-water landscapes are equally stunning, from coral gardens to hidden lagoons to underground rivers. Palawan reminds us that paradise can be adventurous, that natural beauty and biodiversity are treasures worth protecting, and that some of the best experiences come from exploring beyond the obvious. Maui. What makes Maui absolutely extraordinary from a geographic standpoint is the sheer diversity packed into 727 square miles. This island has it all: tropical rainforests, arid volcanic deserts, pristine beaches with sand in every color from white to black to red, waterfalls cascading down emerald cliffs, and two massive volcanic mountain masses. Maui was formed by two shield volcanoes, Ho'oku'ui in the West Maui Mountains and Haleakala in East Maui. These two volcanoes created separate islands that eventually joined together through volcanic activity, creating the isthmus that gives Maui its distinctive figure-8 shape and that valley that earned it the nickname Valley Isle. The West Maui Mountains are older, more eroded, and create dramatic, almost impossibly steep valleys and cliffs. The eastern side is dominated by Haleakala, which at 10,023 feet is the world's largest dormant volcano. The summit area of Haleakala contains a massive depression, over 7 miles across, 2 miles wide, and 2,600 feet deep, that looks more like the surface of Mars than anything on Earth. The island's position in the middle of the Pacific Ocean means it's blessed with incredible weather. Trade winds keep things comfortable, and the varied topography creates multiple microclimates. The western and southern shores are sunny and dry, while the northeastern slopes receive heavy rainfall, creating lush tropical forests. According to Hawaiian mythology, the island was named after the demigod Maui, who, according to legend, created the Hawaiian Islands by fishing them up from the ocean floor. This same demigod supposedly lassoed the sun from the summit of Haleakala to slow its journey across the sky, giving his mother more daylight hours to dry her tapa cloth. Native Hawaiians first arrived on Maui around 600–800 CE, sailing thousands of miles across open ocean from the Marquesas Islands and later from Tahiti. They brought with them a sophisticated culture, including the Kapu system, a complex set of sacred laws, traditional navigation techniques, hula both as a sacred ritual and as storytelling, and a deep spiritual connection to the Aina land and Kai sea. Maui played a crucial role in Hawaiian history. Lahaina, a town on the western coast, served as the capital of the Hawaiian kingdom in the early 1800s under King Kamehameha III. Later, it became a major whaling port in the mid-1800s, one of the busiest in the Pacific. The road to Hana, this isn't just a drive, it's an experience, an adventure, and honestly, a bit of a pilgrimage. The Hana Highway, State Route 360 winds for about 52 miles along Maui's northeastern coast, featuring approximately 600 curves and 59 bridges, 46 of which are one lane. Key stops along the way include Twin Falls, one of the first major waterfalls, where you can hike through bamboo forest and swim in pools under cascading water. There's the Garden of Eden Arboretum, a botanical garden with over 100 acres of tropical plants and walking trails that offer stunning views of the coastline. Waianapanapa State Park features a black sand beach created by lava meeting the ocean, sea caves, blowholes, and ancient Hawaiian burial sites. The pools of Ohio, often called the Seven Sacred Pools, though there are more than 7 and they weren't considered particularly sacred, are a series of waterfalls and pools that cascade down to the ocean. You can hike the Pipiwai Trail here, which takes you through a magnificent bamboo forest where the stalks creak and clatter in the wind, creating an almost musical sound. This trail leads to Waimoku Falls, a 400-foot waterfall that drops down a sheer cliff face. Standing before it, you feel the mist on your face and understand why the ancient Hawaiians considered these places sacred. This is Hawaii's Valley Isle, formed by 2 massive volcanoes, creating incredible geographic diversity from rainforests to volcanic deserts. Hawaiian culture here is vibrant and preserved, with strong connections to ancient traditions, language, and the aloha spirit. The road to Hana offers a journey through tropical paradise that showcases Maui's natural beauty and cultural preservation. Beyond the road, Halakala's summit, pristine beaches, and world-class snorkeling create endless opportunities for adventure and connection. Maui teaches us that paradise isn't just about beauty, it's about respecting and preserving culture, that the journey matters as much as the destination, and that nature and culture are inseparable. Seychelles. The Seychelles is an archipelago of 115 islands scattered across 1.4 million square kilometers of the Indian Ocean, located northeast of Madagascar and about 1,600 kilometers east of mainland Africa. Now, what makes Seychelles geographically unique is that about half of these islands are coral atolls, similar to the Maldives, but the other half, including the main islands, are granitic islands, which is extremely rare for mid-ocean islands. These granite islands, including Mahe, Praslin, and La Digue, are actually the peaks of a submerged microcontinent that broke away from Africa and India millions of years ago. The massive granite boulders you see on the beaches, some weighing thousands of tons, sculpted by millions of years of wind and wave action into organic, almost surreal shapes, are remnants of this ancient continental fragment. The largest island, Mahe, covers about 60 square miles and features Mont Seychellois, the highest point in the archipelago at 2,969 feet. The topography is dramatic. Jungle-covered mountains drop steeply to the sea, creating numerous beaches separated by these iconic granite formations. The waters surrounding the islands display incredible clarity, with visibility often exceeding 100 feet and coral reefs teeming with marine life. The climate is tropical, but moderated by ocean breezes, making it comfortable year-round. The islands sit outside the cyclone belt, so they're spared from hurricanes and typhoons. This stable climate has allowed unique ecosystems to develop and thrive. What makes Seychelles culturally fascinating is that unlike most island paradises, this archipelago had no indigenous population. The islands were uninhabited until the 18th century, which makes the culture here a relatively recent but beautiful fusion. The French first claimed the islands in 1756, naming them after Jean Moreau de Seychelles, Louis XV's Minister of Finance. French settlers arrived with enslaved Africans from mainland Africa and Madagascar to work the plantations. When the British took control in 1814, following the Napoleonic Wars, they brought additional laborers from India and China. What emerged from this is the unique Seychellois culture, a Creole culture that blends African, French, British, Indian, and Chinese influences into something entirely its own. The language, Seychellois Creole, is derived from French, but with African syntax and influences from other languages. Today, Seychelles has 3 official languages: Creole, French, and English. Anse d'Argent is located on the western coast of La Digue, and accessing it is part of the experience. You enter through El Union Estate, a former coconut plantation that now serves as a nature reserve. As you walk through the estate, you'll see traditional copra mills, vanilla plantations, and giant Aldabra tortoises, some over 100 years old and weighing more than 500 pounds, slowly munching on grass. What makes Anse d'Argent truly special is how photogenic it is. The combination of white sand, clear water, pink-tinted granite boulders, and lush green vegetation creates compositions that look painted rather than photographed. This beach has been featured in countless commercials, movies, and magazine covers. It's literally the image that comes to mind when someone says tropical paradise. The Aldabra Atoll, another UNESCO World Heritage Site, is one of the world's largest raised coral atolls and home to the world's largest population of giant tortoises, over 100,000 of them. The atoll is so remote and pristine that it's considered a living laboratory for studying evolution and ecology. This is an archipelago of 115 islands in the Indian Ocean, unique for being granite islands in mid-ocean, remnants of an ancient microcontinent. The culture is a beautiful Creole fusion of African, French, British, Indian, and Chinese influences, creating unique language, music, and cuisine. Anse d'Argent on La Digue represents paradise perfected: white sand beaches, sculptural granite boulders, and crystal-clear waters, accessible only by bicycle in a car-free island environment. The nation's commitment to conservation, 50% protected land, shows that paradise and preservation go hand in hand. Seychelles reminds us that sometimes the most beautiful places are those protected from overdevelopment, that cultural fusion can create something richer than homogeneity, and that slowing down allows us to truly appreciate beauty. Fiji. Welcome to Fiji. Nestled in the heart of the South Pacific Ocean, Fiji is an archipelago of over 330 islands, though only about 110 are permanently inhabited. Located roughly 1,300 miles northeast of New Zealand and 2,700 miles northeast of Australia, this scattered constellation of islands sits at the crossroads of Polynesian and Melanesian cultures, creating something absolutely unique. The geographical positioning of Fiji is nothing short of spectacular. These islands were born from volcanic activity millions of years ago, creating a dramatic landscape of rugged mountains, lush rainforests, and coral reefs that are among the most vibrant on Earth. The two main islands, Viti Levu and Vanua Levu, account for about 87% of the population, but it's the smaller islands, the Mamanucas and the Yasawas, that'll make your heart skip a beat with their postcard-perfect beauty. When you step off that plane, you'll be greeted with bula, the Fijian word that means more than just hello. It embodies life, health, and the warmth that radiates from every Fijian smile. The indigenous Fijian culture is deeply rooted in community, respect, and tradition. You'll witness this in the kava ceremony, an ancient ritual where communities gather to drink kava, a mildly narcotic beverage made from the root of the Yakona plant. This isn't just a drink. It's a sacred tradition that symbolizes unity and respect, dating back over 3,000 years. The first settlers arrived around 3,500 years ago, likely from Southeast Asia, navigating thousands of miles of open ocean using nothing but stars and ocean swells. These master navigators established complex societies with sophisticated social hierarchies. In 1643, Dutch explorer Abel Tasman became the first European to sight the islands, but it wasn't until Captain James Cook's visits in the 1770s that Fiji appeared on European maps. The 19th century brought missionaries, traders, and eventually British colonization in 1874. Fiji gained independence in 1970, and today it stands as a proud Pacific nation that successfully balanced modernization with cultural preservation. What makes the Yasawas truly special is their authenticity. Unlike more developed resort areas, These islands have maintained their traditional village life. You can stay with local families, learn to weave palm fronds, fish the traditional way, and hear stories passed down through generations around a beach bonfire. The island of Sawailau is particularly legendary. It features underwater caves that, according to Fijian mythology, were the home of the 10-headed god Ulutini. Snorkeling through these caves, with shafts of sunlight piercing the blue water, is an experience that'll stay with you forever. The marine life here is absolutely extraordinary. The warm waters attract manta rays, reef sharks, sea turtles, and during the right season, you might even spot migrating humpback whales. The coral gardens are bursting with tropical fish in every color imaginable. It's like swimming through a living kaleidoscope. And for those who love adventure, the Yasawas offer world-class diving sites where visibility can extend up to 40 meters, letting you see the underwater world with stunning clarity. What really sets Fiji apart, though, is the genuine warmth of its people. Fijians have consistently been voted among the friendliest people on Earth, and it's not just tourism marketing, it's real. Whether you're staying in a luxury resort or a village Bua traditional thatched house, you'll be treated like family. The concept of kereka, the practice of sharing and mutual support, is deeply embedded in Fijian culture, and as a visitor, you'll feel this generosity in every interaction. Fiji offers an unparalleled combination of natural beauty and authentic cultural experiences. Located in the South Pacific, this archipelago of 330-plus islands showcases volcanic landscapes, world-class coral reefs, and beaches that define tropical perfection. The culture, rooted in 3,500 years of Polynesian-Melanesian heritage, welcomes visitors with genuine warmth through traditions like the kava ceremony. The Yasawa Islands represent the crown jewel of Fijian tourism, offering pristine beaches, legendary underwater caves, spectacular marine life, and authentic village experiences that connect you to ancient Pacific traditions. Whether you're seeking adventure, relaxation, or cultural immersion, Fiji delivers all three in abundance. Bali. Bali sits at the westernmost end of the Lesser Sunda Islands, positioned between Java to the west and Lombok to the east. This relatively small island, just 153 kilometers wide and 112 kilometers north to south, packs an incredible diversity of landscapes. The island is dominated by volcanic mountains, including the sacred Mount Agung, which rises 3,031 meters above sea level and is considered the home of the gods in Balinese Hinduism. The volcanic soil has blessed Bali with extraordinary fertility, creating the lush green landscapes that make it so photogenic. But here's what makes Bali truly unique in Indonesia. While the rest of the country is predominantly Muslim, Bali practices a distinctive form of Hinduism called Agama Hindu Dharma. This isn't quite the same as Indian Hinduism. It's a fascinating blend of Hindu and Buddhist beliefs mixed with indigenous animistic traditions. An island where spirituality isn't separate from daily life, it is daily life. Every morning, you'll see women placing kanang sari, small offerings of flowers, incense, and food, at doorsteps, temples, and even on sidewalks. These aren't just rituals, they're expressions of gratitude to the gods and appeasement of negative spirits, performed with such devotion that you can't help but be moved. While Hindu kingdoms ruled much of Indonesia from the 7th to 15th centuries, the arrival of Islam in the 15th century pushed Hindu culture eastward. When the powerful Majapahit Empire fell in the early 16th century, many of its priests, nobles, and artisans fled to Bali, bringing with them sophisticated arts, literature, and religious practices. This influx created a golden age of Balinese culture that continues to this day. The Dutch colonized Bali in the early 20th century, but the island's culture proved remarkably resilient. Even during Indonesian independence struggles and modernization, Bali has maintained its unique identity, a living museum of ancient traditions thriving in the modern world. The artistic heritage here is mind-blowing. Balinese dance isn't just entertainment, it's storytelling, religious devotion, and cultural preservation all rolled into one hypnotic performance. The intricate movements of the legong dance, the dramatic fire dance of the kekak, the trance-inducing barong dance, these aren't museum pieces, they're living traditions performed regularly in temples and villages. The craftsmanship is equally impressive. Intricate wood carvings, delicate silver jewelry, vibrant paintings, and traditional textiles called batik and ikat showcase skills passed down through generations. Tanah Lot Temple. This isn't just another temple, it's one of the most photographed locations in all of Indonesia, and for good reason. Perched dramatically on a large offshore rock formation, Tanah Lot literally means land in the sea, and boy, does it live up to that name. This 16th century Hindu shrine is one of 7 sea temples built along the Balinese coast, each positioned to be within eyesight of the next. forming a chain of temples protecting the island from evil sea spirits. The setting is absolutely magical. During high tide, waves crash around the rock base, completely cutting off access to the temple, making it appear to float on the ocean. The rock formation itself is being slowly eroded by the sea, and over a third of it is now artificial rock, carefully constructed to preserve this sacred site. But here's what makes visiting Tanah Lot truly special: the sunset. As the sun descends toward the Indian Ocean, it creates silhouettes of the temple against blazing orange and purple skies, with crashing waves adding drama to an already spectacular scene. It's the kind of sunset that makes you understand why people travel thousands of miles. Some moments are worth the journey. Bali is Indonesia's cultural and spiritual heart, a small island packed with diverse landscapes from volcanic mountains to terraced rice paddies. Unlike the rest of Indonesia, Bali practices Agama Hindu Dharma, creating a unique culture where daily life and spirituality are inseparable. The island's history as a refuge for Hindu culture has created an extraordinary artistic heritage visible in dance, crafts, and architecture. Tanah Lot Temple perfectly embodies Bali's magic, a 16th century sea temple dramatically perched on an offshore rock, offering spectacular sunsets and deep spiritual significance. Beyond its photogenic beauty, Bali offers authentic cultural immersion where ancient traditions thrive alongside modern tourism, making it a destination that touches both the eyes and the soul. Kauwari. Kauwari is the fourth largest of the Hawaiian Islands, and more importantly, the oldest of the main islands at approximately 5.1 million years old. It's located about 105 miles northwest of Rahu, making it the northernmost inhabited island in the Hawaiian chain. This extra age has allowed erosion to sculpt the landscape in ways that younger islands simply can't match, creating dramatic valleys, fluted cliffs, and more waterfalls than you could visit in a month. The island is essentially a massive shield volcano that erupted from the ocean floor millions of years ago. But here's what makes it special. While other Hawaiian islands still have active or recently active volcanoes, Kauai's volcanic activity ceased millions of years ago, giving rainfall and wind vast amounts of time to carve the landscape into something almost otherworldly. Mount Waialail, sitting at the island's center, receives an average of 450 inches of rain annually, making it one of the wettest spots on Earth. This incredible rainfall feeds over 80 rivers and streams, creating the lush, verdant landscapes that gave Kauai its Garden Island nickname. According to ancient Hawaiian legend, this is where the Menehune, a race of small, magical people, built some of the island's most impressive structures in a single night. While likely mythological, these stories reflect the island's long human history. Polynesians first arrived here around 300–600 CE, navigating thousands of miles of open ocean in double-hulled canoes using only stars, ocean swells, and bird flight patterns. Can you even imagine that level of skill and courage? The cultural development of Kauai was relatively isolated compared to other Hawaiian islands, allowing unique traditions to flourish. When Captain James Cook made his first landfall in the Hawaiian Islands in 1778, it was at Waimea on Kauai's western shore, marking the first contact between Hawaiians and Europeans. This encounter would ultimately change Hawaii forever, though Kauai remained somewhat independent, even resisting King Kamehameha's unification of Hawaii through military force. It was eventually brought into the kingdom through negotiation in 1810. Today, Kauai maintains a distinctly relaxed vibe. There are no buildings taller than a coconut tree, seriously, that's a local building code, and much of the island remains undeveloped, with large tracts protected as wilderness. The culture here emphasizes the aloha spirit, not just a greeting, but a philosophy of living with love, respect, and harmony with nature and others. You'll experience this in everything from the patient friendliness of locals to the island's commitment to environmental preservation. The Napali coast. And folks, I'm going to tell you right now, pictures don't do it justice. This 17-mile stretch of Kauai's northwest shore is simply one of the most dramatic coastlines on planet Earth. Imagine towering emerald green cliffs rising up to 4,000 feet directly from the Pacific Ocean, with narrow valleys between them carved by millennia of rainfall, creating hanging valleys that end in waterfalls cascading directly into the sea. The name Na Pali means the cliffs in Hawaiian, and when you see them, you'll understand why such a simple name was sufficient. These cliffs define themselves. The formations are composed of basaltic lava flows from Kauai's original volcanic eruptions, weathered into impossibly steep ridges and valleys. The green color comes from native vegetation that clings to every available surface, ferns, trees, and grasses, creating a living carpet over ancient volcanic rock. What makes the Na Pali coast particularly special is its pristine nature. There are no roads here, no development, no commercial infrastructure, just raw nature as it's existed for millions of years. Ancient Hawaiians once farmed in these valleys, and you can still see remnants of stone terraces and ancient house platforms if you know where to look. The isolation has preserved native Hawaiian plants and birds found nowhere else on Earth, making this not just a scenic wonder, but an ecological treasure. Kauai, Hawaii's oldest main island at 5.1 million years old, is located 105 miles northwest of Rahu and offers the most dramatically eroded landscapes in the Hawaiian chain. Called the Garden Island, due to Mount Waiale's 450 inches of annual rainfall, the island is blessed with over 80 rivers creating lush, verdant beauty. Hawaiian culture here is particularly pure, dating back to 300–600 CE, with the island maintaining the aloha spirit and strict environmental protections, no buildings taller than coconut trees. The Na Pali coast represents Kauai's crown jewel, 17 miles of 4,000-foot cliffs rising directly from the Pacific, accessible by hiking the challenging Kalalau Trail, boat tour, or helicopter. This pristine, roadless coastline showcases nature's raw power and ancient Hawaiian history, making it one of Earth's most spectacular and unspoiled coastal landscapes. Capri. Capri is a small island in the Tyrrhenian Sea, located in Italy's Bay of Naples, just off the Sorrentine Peninsula. To give you perspective, it's only about 6 square kilometers in total, roughly 6 kilometers long and 3 kilometers wide at its widest point. Despite its small size, Capri rises dramatically from the sea, with the highest point, Monte Solaro, reaching 589 meters. The island is actually made up of 2 main areas: the town of Capri itself and Capri, situated higher up on the slopes of Monte Solaro. The dramatic limestone cliffs that define the island were once connected to mainland Italy, but rising sea levels after the last ice age created this isolated jewel of the Mediterranean. The culture of Capri is distinctly Italian with a cosmopolitan twist. Walking through the narrow streets of Capri town, you'll hear Italian mixed with a dozen other languages. This has been an international destination since ancient Roman times. The architecture is quintessentially Mediterranean: whitewashed buildings with colorful shutters, flower-draped terraces, and winding pedestrian streets too narrow for cars. Archaeological evidence shows human presence dating back to the Paleolithic era, but Capri really enters history with the ancient Greeks, who called it Capros, meaning wild boar. The Romans, however, truly fell in love with this island. Emperor Augustus was so smitten that he acquired it from Naples in 29 BCE, trading the larger, more fertile island of Ischia for it, a deal that tells you how much he valued Capri's beauty. But it was his successor, Emperor Tiberius, who made Capri legendary. Tiberius spent the last 10 years of his life on Capri, ruling the entire Roman Empire from this tiny island through messengers and correspondence. He built 12 villas across the island, with Villa Jovis, Villa of Jupiter, being the most spectacular, perched on a cliff edge with panoramic views. You can still visit these ruins today, walking through rooms where one of history's most powerful men made decisions that shaped the ancient world. The emperor was so enchanted by Capri that he allegedly had anyone who displeased him thrown from the cliffs, though historians debate whether this was fact or later Roman gossip. After the fall of Rome, Capri endured centuries of raids by pirates and Saracens, periods of religious isolation as a monastic retreat, and various rulers from Normans to Spanish to French. The modern rediscovery of Capri began in the 19th century when European artists and writers found inspiration in its beauty. By the 20th century, Capri had become the celebrity destination it remains today, attracting everyone from Hollywood stars to fashion designers to royalty. Here's what makes the Blue Grotto absolutely extraordinary. The refracted sunlight creates an ethereal, electric blue glow throughout the cave that seems almost supernatural. The water literally glows with this incredible azure light, and any objects in the water, including you, if you swim, appear silver due to the light effect. Ancient Romans knew about this phenomenon and used the grotto as a personal swimming pool, complete with statues of sea gods found on the cave floor, suggesting it was a nymphaeum, a shrine to water nymphs. Beyond the Blue Grotto, Capri offers incredible experiences. Hiking to Villa Jovis, taking the chairlift to Monte Solaro for panoramic views, exploring the gardens of Augustus with their perfectly manicured flower beds overlooking the dramatic Faraglione rock formations, shopping in the designer boutiques of Via Camarelle, or simply sipping limoncello on a terrace overlooking the Mediterranean. Capri is a 6-square-kilometer Italian island in the Bay of Naples, dramatically rising from the Tyrrhenian Sea with limestone cliffs reaching 589 meters. This cosmopolitan Mediterranean jewel blends Italian culture with international flair in its pedestrian-only streets and flower-draped architecture. Capri's history spans from Greek settlement through Roman glory. Emperor Tiberius ruled the entire Roman Empire from here for 10 years, to its modern status as a celebrity destination. Combined with ancient ruins, dramatic coastal views, and Italian luxury, Capri delivers a perfect blend of natural wonder, historical significance, and Mediterranean sophistication. We've just traveled across 24 time zones, explored 4 oceans, and visited 10 of the most extraordinary island destinations our beautiful planet has to offer. From the overwater bungalows of the Maldives to the ancient temples of Bali, from the volcanic majesty of Hawaii to the Mediterranean sophistication of Capri, each destination has shown us a different face of paradise. But here's what I hope you've noticed throughout our journey. Paradise isn't just about pristine beaches and crystal waters, though those certainly help. It's about the stories these places tell, the 2,500 years of Maldivian history, the Polynesian navigators who found Bora Bora using only stars, the Balinese farmers who have maintained their rice terraces for a millennium. It's about the resilience of cultures that have survived colonization, natural disasters, and the pressures of modern tourism while maintaining their essential character. And perhaps most importantly, it's about the relationship between humans and nature, sometimes wild and untouched like Kauai's Napali coast, sometimes carefully cultivated like Bali's rice terraces, but always built on respect rather than domination. Now here's my question for you. If you could only visit one of these 10 destinations, which would it be and why? Drop your answer in the comments below. I read every single one, and I love hearing about your dream destinations and travel experiences. If you've enjoyed this journey through paradise with me, do me a favor. Smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you never miss our next adventure. We've got incredible destinations coming up in future videos that will blow your mind. Until next time.